I'm Harry Watt with North Carolina State University Wood Products Specialist in the Wood Products Extension Department. This is a video for the National Firewood Workshop for June 9th and 10th of 2001. Our host site is group is the Division of Forestry of the state of Tennessee. This workshop is going to be virtual this year because of the COVID restrictions on meetings. And today I have Central Boiler here. This is Rodney Tollefson, who is the owner manager of Central Boiler of Wisconsin. And we're going to talk about Woodstoves today. This grant is made possible through a U.S. Forest Service Wood Innovations grant for workshops. We don't discriminate against anybody in any way, shape, or form, and anybody that has any complaint with us can contact North Carolina State University or the Wood Education Center, part of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. Rodney, thanks for being with us today.
Yes, glad to be here.
Okay, well, Rodney, tell us, give us the short version of you and Central Boiler and where you fit in the firewood industry.
Sure, I'll correct you just a little bit. Yes, we're Central Boiler Companies. We're from Greenbush, Minnesota, very far north Minnesota. We manufacture the Central Boiler outdoor furnaces, Woodmaster outdoor furnaces, and Altos lawnmowers. And we've been in business for 34 years. I've been with the company since 1990. And we have dealers across the US and Canada and some in Europe.
Well, very good. Why don't you explain to us how outdoor wood stoves work and where they fit in for the firewood and the heating industry?
Yes, an outdoor furnace sits outside, and it has, I'm going to try to share the screen. It has a connection from the furnace to the house with insulated pipes this is a cutaway view, if you can see that. And not working. I can't get those photos to share right. So, but the outdoor furnace sits outside. You fill it with wood. There's water in the furnace. And as it heats the water, you pump that to the building. It can be a home or any kind of business. A lot of kilns people use it for. And so you have all of the heat outside, the wood outside. You can usually get 12 to 24 hours on a fill of wood.
Well, very good. How much firewood would somebody use in, say, Minnesota or Tennessee or Georgia in a season with an outdoor stove doing a typical American home?
Normally, if you have a well-insulated 3-bedroom home with these new efficient EPA certified models, they're 80 to 90% efficient. And you can get by with 4 to 5 cord. Super insulated homes might take 3 to 4, but if you have older homes, yes, you can burn a lot more wood than that.
Right. And as far as cords, those are the face cords, like 24-inch wood?
We're talking full cord.
Full cords. Okay. Thank you much. The what are the current tax incentives for these outdoor stoves?
Currently on wood heaters, stoves that are 75% or greater efficiency, there is a 26% federal tax credit incentive. And that makes a big difference on the purchase price because it also covers all of the installation for the heat exchangers and the pipe and the heating units in your house. So it can be up to $4,000 or $5,000 of credit.
Well, that's great. And that's not going to, it's not a 1-year incentive. It goes out several years. Is that correct?
Correct. There's 2 years of 26, then it reduces to 22%.
Oh, those are both good levels, and that should help a lot of people put these wood stoves in.
Yes.
Tell us about the EPA over the years has tightened the particulates is the main thing they look at. Is that correct?
Yes, because the wood creates exhaust like anything. Cars are always, they're getting regulated tighter, and as well wood furnaces and wood stoves, indoor wood stoves. And we have to have our furnaces tested at a accredited lab. And we've got them to the point now that you don't even see any smoke when they're burning. The gasification units have in ours, it's just a ball of fire in the bottom down in the reaction chamber where it's burning the gases. And they are so clean. They've gotten much more efficient too, because you're burning up all the carbon and eliminating the particulate matter.
Well, that is a wonderful thing. Now, the key element, as I understand it, is the quality of seasoning for the wood.
Makes a very big difference how much wood you use and how clean it burns. Drying wood makes a significant difference, because otherwise you burn a good portion, up to a third of your wood, just to get rid of the moisture. And when you have dry wood, split seasoned wood, it burns much more efficient and clean.
You mentioned that people who want to dry lumber with in a dry kiln heated by an outdoor stove like yours, that's a good application, and also greenhouses and workshops and so forth.
That's correct. We have many different people that have all different kinds of kilns, greenhouses, workshops. One example is we have a guy in Hawaii that has a vacuum dry kiln. It's a iDry vacuum dry kiln, and he's connected to central boiler edge 560, and it works really well. Where he used to use propane and electricity for him were outrageously priced, and he has all of the scrap wood that he fuels it with. So yeah, all of these different applications you can connect to.
What is the limit of how far you can pump water, hot water from a stove and be effective?
We have people that are up to 500 feet away. It does cost money for the insulated pipe. So if you can be, 100 or less, it costs less money, but you can pump it a long ways.
Well, I always thought it would be smart if like several homeowners, like 3 would go together and have one stove. Can one stove heat 3 houses?
We actually have that in a local town here, Roseau, Minnesota. There's a furnace that sits in the residential area. It's got the chimney up 35 feet and it's heating 3 homes. Does a really good job. Works very well.
Well, the 35-foot stack height, so why would they do that?
When you're in a residential area, you want to release the exhaust at the same level as the roof peaks of the homes nearby.
Well, that's a really important thing, as more people can use it if they just need to know what the rules to follow. So thanks for updating us on that.
Generally, we don't have very many that are in residential areas, but with these EPA certified clean stoves, you really don't see smoke. Most people in Roseau don't even know that furnace is there.
Oh, that's great. What sort of operating temperature do these outdoor stoves operate at?
The water temperatures run in 185 degrees with either a 10 or 20 degree differential. And of course, the combustion exceeds well over 2000 degrees. We actually have a sensor that measures downstream, and it controls the air input so that you get the highest efficiency burn.
Well, that's great. It's sort of like a smart stove, I would say.
It's very, very smart. You can flip your iPhone open and look at how your furnace is doing. It can tell you how much wood is left, essentially, and it can give you reminders if you want to. So it's a very smart furnace.
Tell us about, you also rep a wood splitter. Is that correct?
That's right. We have a striker log splitter, and it's nice part of it is the plunger has a wedge that's sharp on both edges, and then the stoppers on each side of it. So the cylinder's in the pipe underneath, so you can split one way, put a log in the other side, and then split the other way. So it's a two-way double direction splitter.
Well, that sounds like an innovation. That we didn't have those in the old days.
Mhm.
The firewood industry has never really caught on with what I call the HVAC contractors. They just like to play and plug like heat pumps and other things like that. How can we get those guys involved in our firewood industry?
Well, one of the things that's happening is many of these rule makers are trying to get more renewable resources. And so if an HVAC dealer gets the understanding it's valuable for him to have an outdoor furnace or wood stoves in their product lineup, they'll find that the sales are actually increasing because of the renewable resources efforts. And so, in other words, to connect with, if we had a wood supplier that wanted to connect, he can go on centralboiler.com and go to our dealer locator, and he could actually contact each of these dealers and let them know that he's a source for wood fuel.
Well, that's important. That's one thing we all need to do in the firewood industry is figure out who doesn't know who we are and explain what we're doing, and let's cooperate for a better, stronger industry.
That's good.
Do you have any thoughts on what we can do to grow, nationwide to get more people burning firewood?
I guess getting the word out about these tax credits is one thing. The other thing is the fuel prices have been really low recently, but now they're on the rise again a little bit. And advertising wood, actually, we find many places it's difficult to find a good supplier for wood. And just getting a little classified ad in some of the shoppers and stuff is where a lot of people look for resources like that. So we even have trouble getting our dealers to advertise, but definitely advertising in those mediums and Facebook and those things really help people find who you are and where you are.
Well, very good, Rodney. We greatly appreciate you helping us out in the National Firewood Workshop. We've done this workshop about 7 or 8 times, and we've been in places like New Hampshire, New York, Maryland, North Carolina. Here we're focused in Tennessee. Next year, we're planning to come to Wisconsin, and we hope you come and bring a wood stove for our show and tell, and get to shake hand and pat backs, and let's all make the firewood industry bigger and better.
Absolutely. We'd enjoy doing that.
Thank you, Rodney.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Right.
Yeah.
Bye.